Hello everybody, it is I, Night Drifty, the one and only, and today in this video, yes, this is a video, not a live stream if you were expecting one, too bad. In this video, we are discussing about YouTube's new enforcement policy. Now, if you are a creator affected by this policy, don't worry, it is everybody being affected by this policy in some way or another. I haven't been yet, but let me give y'all a rundown about what this policy is. Now, this policy I'm talking about is called the Inauthentic Policy. Now, I will say this is not a new policy. This policy has been in effect for a long time. It was recently changed into the Inauthentic Policy from the Remonetize Content Policy, but both policies do the same thing. Now, the Inauthentic Policy targets content that looks mass-produced, or as I call it, easy-to-make content. Like, if all you do is just slap an AI voice on a video and that's it, then yes, you are 100% going to deserve the Inauthentic Policy being slapped on your channel. Now, this policy being put into effect is a really good thing because it snuffs out all these lazy content creating channels, and more specifically, a thing that I have already talked about in my last video about the short feed live streamers called YouTube automation. And to give a quick rundown about what YouTube automation is, it is basically mass producing as many lazy, inauthentic videos that you can possibly do. Like, these guys only make videos for the sake of views, which therefore equal money. And this policy, as a reminder, targets those mass-producing channels. So it effectively gets rid of people trying to automate creating videos and getting money. So long as your videos look like they have a purpose or a reason to be on the platform, not just for the sake of money and views, then it will stay. Even if you use AI tools like AI voiceovers, AI pictures, so long as they tell a story that is educational or providing some other value to your audience. However, like I said, there's been a lot of, friendly fire by YouTube and targeting innocent channels and creators. And this is because of YouTube's automatic AI system detecting creators within the YouTube Partnership Program and their content that the AI deems as easy to make. Now, the reason why YouTube's automatic system has been failing us creators is because the AI moderation lacks one thing that an actual human has: logic. Like, for this example, what if an actual human moderator at YouTube looked at a channel, and let's just say an animation channel, and they thought to themselves, does this creator's content have a purpose on the platform? Does it have a reason to be here, or is it just mass-produced? And they would look at this channel's video, and they would see the actual effort put into these animations, and they're like, yeah, that video looks authentic. It has a purpose to be here. Entertainment. However, when the AI system looks at a channel, they're going to think to themselves, is this kind of content everywhere on this channel? Does it look easy to make, and can it be mass-produced? And when the AI looks at all the videos, they're not going to think, oh my gosh, there was so much effort poured into this video. They're going to say, holy gosh, all the videos look the exact same, so they must be easy to make and therefore mass-produced, when that is not true. Now, this actual channel, Gloomy Animations, was demonetized recently by YouTube for having inauthentic content, when we just saw their videos are actually really good animations and not slop AI, and that not only that, but they take a lot of time and they are therefore not easy to make. So now that I've talked about what the Inauthentic Policy is, one, YouTube, you should definitely remonetize Gloomy Animations because they are not a lazy channel. And two, let's now actually talk about how your channel may get flagged or may have gotten flagged in the first place by the Inauthentic Policy. And I'm actually going to divide this segment into different parts relating to different styles of content, also known as their niches. Now, the first niche that I'm going to talk about is the one I literally just used an example for, which is animation, and animation channels have become a literal staple on YouTube. You cannot scroll on YouTube and not see an animation video by an animation channel. Either they be indie animations that blow up massively, or just animations that I guess are just, here. So whether you hate them or absolutely adore them, animations are here to stay on YouTube, and they're not going anywhere. However, one thing that all animators have are their own style of making their own video, and they tend to use that style over and over and over, and that is called a template. However, do you remember when I said about gloomy animations and the fact that their style of animation look all the same, and that may be what the AI moderation is looking for? Well, that's the problem, YouTube. When it comes to animators, YouTube, they have no choice. They have to stick with their style because they don't know anything else other than their style. They've been doing their style and their template for years, and just now for them to get punished for all of their videos looking the same, that's pretty disgraceful. However, there may be two more reasons if you are an animation channel that got flagged by this inauthentic policy. One of them is your thumbnails, and this actually goes for a lot of other channels besides specifically animation channels. However, let's focus on animation channels. When it comes to animation channel video thumbnails, those thumbnails, YouTube, have a tendency to look the same as their videos because it's their animation. They usually put it there as a thumbnail. So for all of their thumbnails looking the same, that isn't really a qualifying reason to demonetize them, YouTube, if they're an animation channel. Now, the last reason is story. Like I've said before, every single piece of content on YouTube has to have a meaning. You can't just post slop. It has to have purpose. It has to have value. Either it be a guide on where to find items in a game or lore from a different game. But here comes the problem for YouTube's end when it comes to animation channels trying to tell a story. If an animation channel is making their own story up, like let's just say an animation song, but it also follows kind of a guideline and rules of that specific thing they are using, like again, characters from a game. There are usually fine rules and fine lore details that they really can't leave out. And that's just it. If YouTube sees that you are using a specific piece of lore, a specific piece of a story over and over and over, like let's just say, for example, you make probably 3 animations using the same character from the same game, and you use the same story that you've been using in your other videos over and over and over, YouTube's gonna see that as mass-produced because you created what they would think several videos using the same bits of information, and therefore the viewers are not really learning anything different from it, when in actuality, they are. Now, the reason why YouTube is being very strict around animation channels is because YouTube automators are using animations primarily in their videos. Now, there is another kind of niche that branches off animations, and they are what I call storytelling animations. Now, you may have seen these storytelling animations where these videos are specifically talking about something. Like, let's just say, for an example, viruses. These videos, these storytelling animation videos, are going to specifically talk about different viruses in detail. And unfortunately, this storytelling animation style is what YouTube automators use the most of, and therefore that is what YouTube is after, because a lot of these channels don't add that much detail. They just usually, again, say the obvious and then move on, and then therefore YouTube sees them only making videos for the sake of, again, money and views. So in short, to the animation creators who have been demonetized and to the ones that are also hoping to stay from getting demonetized, YouTube is primarily after animation channels and animation videos that look like they are easy to make, because that's where a lot of the lazy creators go, where they want to make something easy and get money off of it. Now, on to the next niche that is actually one of the most abundant right now on the platform, and I like to call them, you're going to be in...
Where's Mark, Debbie? Where's... To face his father and survive?
Yes, these videos. Now, you guys have probably scrolled on a lot of them on the shorts feed because these kinds of videos are everywhere. Now, I would like to say first that a lot of these breakdown shorts are not just limited to invincible shorts, but you get the idea. Now, I will also like to clarify, I will not be talking about those kinds of shorts that use an entire segment of a show. For example, the most abundant of these kinds being Rick and Morty, where they literally just have the text message of what they are saying in the entire segment of the short. I am not talking about those. I am talking about these breakdown shorts where they are using clips of a video, either it be, again, popular of them all being Invincible, where they use clips of these shows and answer questions that viewers may have. And another connection to breakdown shorts are edited and stylized versions of these shows, either they be in quick cuts, flashy edits, this and that. Those are also connected to breakdown shorts and are also affected by the Inauthentic Content Policy. And there are usually two main reasons if you are a content creator that does this style of content as to why you may have gotten demonetized for the Inauthentic Content Policy, even though a lot of your videos take a lot of time and effort to make. And the first reason is, surprisingly again, the thumbnails. Now, different from the animation thumbnails, where the animators usually use their own animations and a bit of text in there for their own thumbnails, when it comes to breakdown short thumbnails, a lot of the times it only has a specific scene with either an arrow or two with the same yellow text, and this repeats for all of your shorts. That would probably be the reason why you were flagged for inauthentic content. They all look the same, and therefore YouTube thinks that they are the same. And the other reason is, again, style. If YouTube sees that a large majority of your videos not only have the same thumbnail, but they talk about the same thing, like they all use clips and little segments of a video while you are answering questions that the viewers may have, and you do that every single short, YouTube is going to see that as mass-produced and also easy to make because of how many of your videos do that same thing. And this again applies to edits. If YouTube sees that all of your videos are following the same, what they call template again, it is like them saying a word and then all of a sudden it starts cutting to a bunch of fancy edits and clips and snips, and it does that every single video, YouTube again is going to think that that is repetitive and mass-produced. And real quick, let's actually talk about one thing that maybe all recently demonetized creators are having a hard time with YouTube on getting, and that is the appeals. So you may have remembered a little while ago when I discussed about YouTube's AI moderation system and that not having one thing that a human moderator has, and it is logic. Well, the same thing applies to appeals. If a human moderator looked at a channel's appeal, they would look at their content and see if that content had actual effort poured into it or not. And the same thing again goes for the AI moderation. They're not going to look if there was actual effort poured into a video. They are going to look and see if that style of content, again, is repeated across your entire channel. And a lot of the times it is the reason why it instantly shoots down an appeal. So what that basically means is that, let's just say 2 to 3 years ago, the moderation system was very differently, obviously. It isn't fully AI like it is now. There were some human moderators in there, and they primarily looked at channel appeals. However, in current time, YouTube's moderation system is again fully AI. So the very same AI system that gave you a punishment on your channel is going to be the same AI system that is going to look at your appeal. And therefore, they're going to believe their decision is 100% correct, and they will immediately shoot down your appeal video and your appeal itself. And it's actually much worse when you want to try and reach out to a human moderator at YouTube because, like I said before, all of their systems are now fully AI, and the most annoying of them all is chat support. And I actually made a video on how stupid YouTube's creator support chat is because I literally tried asking them the most basic of questions and they could not answer them no matter what, and they still claimed to be a human even though they weren't. So YouTube, us creators, including myself, have been wanting one thing from you guys for a very, very long time that you guys, especially in this dire of a situation, are not giving us. And that is some way to actually contact someone human in YouTube. Now, I actually have a proposition for you, YouTube, on how to fix this, and I've actually talked about this idea before, but it's time for me to get more in depth into this idea of mine. And this idea of mine is called community moderation. Now, what community moderation is, it's literally in the name. The community of YouTube in its entirety will basically be in charge of overlooking to see if anyone obviously breaks a rule. However, in order to do that efficiently and fast, the community needs some way to actually talk to YouTube right then and there in order to report these obvious rule breakers. And that becomes the duty of the community moderator, who is an actual creator in YouTube that is voted in by the community. Now, YouTube, I'm sure your corporate mind is going to want to shape and mend this into your own idea and vision, but remember this, the core principle of community moderation is so that creators and people of YouTube can actually talk to you. Now, again, like I stated, these community moderators are creators on YouTube that are voted in by the community of YouTube, and they will be overwatching their specific style of content. Now, each of these community moderators will have ties and a way to actually contact someone human at YouTube to, again, better moderate the platform. Now, the one in charge of these community moderators is the community manager, and that too is voted in by the community of YouTube. Now, overseeing the community moderators is not the community manager's only job. It is to also keep YouTube themselves in check, to not get lazy on their own moderation. Now, the community manager would also be able to get feedback from the community moderators from each different community on YouTube in order to help YouTube in shaping policies and rules more to the community and the creators' liking. So in short, the community manager is the voice of the entire community on YouTube, and they're basically telling YouTube, sure, yeah, you may be the makers of the rules, but just know without us, you wouldn't exist. And the community manager would also be able to enforce punishments on channels that are, again, obviously breaking the rules, but that would have to first go through the next role of community moderation, and that is community administration. Now, the community administrators are going to actually be YouTube employees assigned to specifically be listening to the community's voice. So in short, YouTube, community moderation is to make sure that if something unfair happens to someone, they are not screaming into the void of the internet, hoping that one day that is going to go viral and then you guys ultimately start listening to them. And so if this plan is actually put into effect, this would actually ensure that people are always heard. But anyway, back to the actual video itself, let's again discuss about another niche, and this one is, I can't believe I'm discussing about it.
If mommy snuggled in bed with you.
Yep, I'm not kidding. Now, as all fun and games as it sounds, ASMR is actually a brilliant way to make absolute bank on YouTube, especially from one specific website. I'm looking at you, Patreon! Now, other than it making your ears tingle and sound like there is someone who cares about you in your life, ASMR also requires a lot of planning, such as the obvious, the script of what to say. A lot of times, the channels that do ASMR, they either have to make their own script, which takes even longer, or even get permission to use someone else's script, which can also take just as long. And another thing is the equipment they use themselves, because a lot of times they have to soundproof pad their rooms just to make sure there's not a sound that they don't want in the recording, and also, let's just say, the microphone. And let me just say, a lot of microphones they use a lot of times, it ain't cheap. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of ASMR artists out there that have been demonetized because of the inauthentic policy, and that is probably because of two things. The first one being their voice. YouTube may hear your voice over and over and over in the same tone, and again, the same style, and so they may think, oh, that's too easy for you, so inauthentic. And this would actually be a good time to mention that this is one of those things, the one style of content that if you use an AI voice, again, you deserve to get demonetized. And the other reason being, again, thumbnails, but this time it's a bit different. Kind of like animations where they make a thumbnail using their own animation, ASMR artists are a bit different where they actually use the thumbnail in their entire video, and a lot of times it just plays on and on. And that may be the main reason, if you are an ASMR channel, why you got demonetized. And YouTube, that is a very stupid reason. Having a picture of most likely your thumbnail playing for an entire video and it repeats across your entire channel isn't a really good reason, YouTube, to use in order to demonetize a channel, because each video is, again, different from the other. And I actually would like to say this, YouTube, the only reason you should ever demonetize an ASMR channel is if they use an AI voice. That is literally the only reason an ASMR channel should ever get demonetized. Now, unfortunately, there is an ASMR channel out there that got demonetized by YouTube for inauthentic content. And this channel is by the name of Zardy VA. Now, off the bat, we can see why this channel was demonetized. It was because of the thumbnails being used in the video. And again, YouTube, that is not a valid excuse to demonetize a channel if every single video is different. So, you know the drill again, YouTube. Remonetize their channel. Now, on to another wholesome niche, and you guys were probably expecting this to be right after ASMR.
Morning! Hi guys, this is the Bangkok.
Shut up! I want morning! Shut up! Morning!
Now, jokes aside on how funny VTubers can be, VTubing itself is ginormous. You've got mega corporations whose entire business is hiring VTubers and making them huge. However, back on the subject, if you are a VTuber, how might have you gotten demonetized from the inauthentic policy? Well, again, YouTube is looking for anything repetitive. They're looking for anything that is just staying on the same line. They're looking for anything that is a large majority of your channel that hasn't been significantly changed all around. Like again, if you are a reaction VTubing channel and you have the same reaction, how do we say, format, like you do the same thing over and over, the same reaction, like you pause the video, you're like, oh wow, I've always wondered about that. And then it plays on again, you're like, oh, yeah, see, yeah, I saw that, yeah. If you do that all across your channel, yeah, you're gonna get demonetized. YouTube wants you to give actual valuable insight from your own perspective. And I will say this as a guarantee, YouTube is not going to demonetize you if you have your VTubing model throughout your entire channel. They're not gonna demonetize because of that. They will see that and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, even the AI, I promise you this, the AI isn't that stupid. So again, if you are a VTuber and you got demonetized, look across your channel. Look for anything that looks the same. Again, completely disregard your model or whatever avatar you use in your videos. Look for anything that looks the same across your entire channel. Editing style, template, reactions, whatever. Look for anything that looks the same across your entire channel. Now, onto the actual biggest style of content, the biggest niche of content that YouTube automators love to do. And that is...
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad.
Yep, I'm talking about crime. I'm talking about all those body cam videos, all those dash cam videos featuring police going after bad guys. That is crime. And not only that, for this to be the biggest source of income, the biggest source of money for YouTube automators is literal crime. It is people that are breaking the law, and some of them are even suffering the losses of loved ones. For that to be their source of income is kind of sickening. And it's not because of the fact they make money off of these videos, it's the fact of how they make money. Again, these guys are so lazy when it comes to making content, they make the barest of minimum so it can be posted on YouTube. Again, they take a body cam video, they get a script from ChatGPT, who knows where, put it through an AI voiceover, and boom, they literally pause it so the AI can state literally what has even occurred in the story to begin with. They literally state the obvious. So I will say this, if you are English, if you speak English, but you still using AI voiceover on your channel, you do not have my respect. AI voiceovers should only pretty much be limited to people that do not speak English. And you know what? Just to prove how much I hate using AI voiceovers, I'm going to use one this entire segment.
Hello guys, it is Inauthentic on an AI voiceover app. I know that was a very hypocritical thing for me to say about an English speaker using an AI voiceover, but who cares? Now on to the reason as to why. If you are a crime channel that got demonetized by the Inauthentic Policy, is because half of the time the video itself. If you again snatched a video off another channel and just added minimal editing on it along with an AI voiceover, yeah, you deserve the demonetization hawk to are on your channel. However, if you have now decided to change your ways, if you do in fact speak English or not, but find it hard to make a crime video while staying clear from the Inauthentic Policy, YouTube allows the usage of AI tools. Say, if you wanted to make a review of an entire part of a video talking about the legalities that connect to that video part, you can use AI generated videos related to the very video you are making as background scenes, not the video itself. So long again I say, there be knowledge to gain from it. Being from crime, it would most likely be the rules of law, and how they connect to a part of a video. However again, do not have this style repeated across your channel, or it would be seen as again, repetitive. YouTube is basically saying for crime, and for others niches, use everything you want in a video, but don't make that always the same joke every single time. Now then, that wraps up crime. However, on to the last kind of content that I could think of. If there are more, and even one that you do on your channel, let me know down in the comments and I can help the best I can. Now this one is the most controversial of them all due to what they discuss, and that is
Tom Holland. Man, what the fuck? Man, I don't want to talk your bitch.
Yep, it's drama and commentary. You may have even seen a lot of these videos. A lot of times they are Roblox drama YouTubers, and they have the most reusable thumbnails I have ever seen. Like, it is the same thing every single time. It's like the main character in the video and then a red and white text. And that is it. It is just so rinse and repeatable. Now, for the drama channels, please don't bombard my comment section. Just tell me, why are your thumbnails the same thing every time? Like, shake it up a notch, and don't get me started with the sound effects you use in your videos. I hear a keyboard sound every time a text just appears on the screen. It's like a chugga, boom, text. However, if you are a drama channel, you're probably going to be yakking at me saying, well, I'm still monetized, so I really don't care what you say. Again, like I said, the inauthentic policy will target anything that looks mass-produced or easy to make, or again, all across your channel. Now, I do want to still keep talking about drama channels, but I really don't want to summon the horde that is their community. So I'll wait for another video to actually talk more in depth about drama channels. With all of this being said, YouTube, again, really fix your policies that are more in favor to creators. And again, make sure there is some way that the creators themselves can actually talk to someone human at YouTube. Now, another thing that I've been seeing YouTube is that you guys, when you demonetize a channel, you are not fully paying out a channel for their ad revenue. You are just locking it in. And that is actually more shameful than demonetizing the creator in the first place. You are keeping their money. Now, I will say this, I hear a question ringing in your head about YouTube, and why are they not telling a specific creator what they did specifically wrong on the platform? They are just giving zero context. They are saying, you broke a policy, look at the rules, and fuck off. And the answer to that is loopholes. YouTube wants their rules to be as heavily buttoned down as they possibly can so that people won't find ways around them and slip by them. Like, for an example, if YouTube was to tell a specific creator what specific video and what specific part of that video got them demonetized, if that creator is only making videos for the sake of views and money, then they're all like, oh, that's what I should avoid next time to not get demonetized. But YouTube, again, I say, logic. If you see that, again, a creator has put actual effort behind their videos, and this is, say, their first demonetization ever, actually review the channel and see if they're only making videos for the sake of views and money. And while I'm on the topic of demonetization again, YouTube, when you demonetize a channel, there is literally no warning, like zero, zilch, nothing. There is nothing in favor of the creator. So please, YouTube, actually make like a warning system to give a creator or creators, all of us, a heads up when they are about to get demonetized by a specific video. And another thing is demonetization itself. You are demonetizing a channel for 3 months. YouTube, some people literally rely on ad revenue from you guys to live. And again, to literally lock that behind AdSense and not pay out the creator is, again, horrible. So YouTube, I'm going to give you 3 helpful suggestions on how to fix this little problem of yours. Now, the first one is obvious. YouTube, when and if you demonetize a creator, pay them out. Do not lock their ad revenue behind some stupid firewall and just leave it there to sit for 3 months when the creator will have another chance to appeal and see if they can get remonetized. And by the time that happens, their ad revenue may be gone. And the second one being the remonetization appeal. YouTube, I am not sure who in your company made it so there'd be 3 months of a wait period, which is 90 days, remind you, in order to remonetize. YouTube, that is a horrible, horrible time period. And again, YouTube, you are shutting out a lot of creators that rely on ad revenue in order to, well, stay alive. And YouTube, when you do this, there is no warning and no support right after you demonetize a channel. So this actually brings me to my third and final suggestion for you guys. Before you ever demonetize a channel, have an actual human look at the videos and say specifically, hey, this part of your video violates our policies in order for you to stay monetized on YouTube. Fix it or remove the part, or we're going to have to demonetize your channel. And then right after that, you'll be fine. And somehow, YouTube, if you don't like the idea of giving us creators a warning before you demonetize us, have it so after we get demonetized, you give us a specific reason as to why, if again, the channel itself looks like they have actual effort poured into their videos. What we don't want is for you guys to send us the same copy and paste reason as to why we were demonetized in the first place. You guys just send us the policy name, the rules of the policy, blah, blah, blah. We don't want that. What we want is an in-depth reason, because we do not want to play the guessing game into figuring out which video violated your policies. You want us to learn, but how can we when you don't teach us in the first place? You just send us a rule book and say, read it. However, that's all I have for this video. YouTube, again, please get your together and do things right the first time around. However, I will say, if you guys are liking my new shift into content, this commentary coverage kind of thing, please, if you could hit the like button on this video to not only get YouTube's attention in fixing this matter, but to also bring this attention to more viewers out there. And if you want to, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!